I'm looking at these developed photos, and there's this giant dark shadow that has a silhouette of like a human, but it's so tall. It's like, okay, it's bigger than my daddy. There's no way that this could be a human. This has got to be. I'm heading back towards the garage, and all I see is my dad stopped. And I'm looking at him, and I'm looking into the garage, and I'm like, well, maybe something of whatever happened to me, maybe something is connecting with him, or maybe he got shocked too. So he stops and looks, and then he puts down this box, and he walks into the garage, and he's doing like this, like he's fanning something away. So my mom gets out, and she's looking at him like, everything okay? And again, my mom's so docile, and she spoke so soft.
Yeah.
And she's like, is everything okay? He was like, nothing. I thought I saw something. So, okay. So I was like, okay, I'm observant at this time. I'm not saying anything. We can't speak or say anything. I can't go to my dad and be like, did you see anything, Dad? We can have those conversations because its authority was so strong.
Mm-hmm.
So he continues packing stuff in the garage. He comes back out the garage, and he continues packing stuff in the garage. When you go into the garage, there's a door that leads to the kitchen of the house, and then it leads to the other areas of the house. So everything's small, it's all on one flat, it's all connected. And so he goes in, lays some stuff down. I'm still out there by the front part of the garage. And my dad turns around, and I'll never forget the look on his face. He looks at the back of the garage, and it has "Get Out, Monsters in Wall." And it was almost like it had just appeared, because we didn't see it, or maybe we didn't realize it was there as we were moving and shifting, but it was in big red letters. So my dad looks, and he runs back into the kitchen area. He goes through that door, runs back into that kitchen, and he gets on the phone. So I'm trying to be sneaky because I want to know what's going on. I just got electrocuted. I want to know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes into the kitchen. He's on this little pink phone. Back then they had the phones, the house phones with the long cord. So he's on one of these house phones. And I believe he was calling like the property manager, because we were renting the house. So he's calling the property manager, and he's like, what's this shit on the wall? And I could kind of hear the person on the other phone like saying, what are you talking about? And he's like, there's some shit on the wall that says "Get Out, Monsters in Wall." Who's been in the house? So he's asking who's been in the house. And the property managers are like, no, the only person that has the key to the house is you. And then I have a copy of the key, but nobody else has been in the house. He was like, well, I came the other day because my dad had been moving stuff before he brought all of us. Him and his cousin had been bringing stuff. So he was in the house, didn't see that before. And now he's like, what the fuck? So at this point, he's thinking somebody broke in and put graffiti on the wall and vandalized the home. So he takes a garden hose, and he takes some soap and water, and he starts washing it down. It does come down very easily. And then after that, we keep moving stuff in the house. So I'm still in the kitchen because I done snuck in there, and I'm hiding under this table. And my dad had taken he took pictures of the "Get Out, Monsters in Wall" before he cleaned it off. Let me backtrack a little bit.
Okay.
And then back then, there was Polaroid cameras. My dad had the instant Polaroid camera where it snaps and it flashes, and then it gets that instant. So as he's taking these pictures, he's taking the developed ones and he's putting them on the table. He had like 5 or 6 of them on the table because he wants to show the property manager what he saw before he cleaned everything up. So while he's in the garage and they're finalizing, getting everything in, I'm looking at these pictures. So I'm under the table, grabbing the pictures. I'm doing like this. Excuse me. I'm grabbing the photos. At this point, I want to see what's on these pictures. And I'm looking at the pictures, and as they're developing, there's this dark shadow, this tall, dark shadow in the photos. So I'm thinking maybe that my dad wasn't holding the camera steady, because you really had to be steady with those cameras back then. If you weren't, then it could blur it a little bit and it looked like it's something else in the photo that's not there. So I'm looking, and then I put one back and I grab another one, and I'm looking at these developed photos, and there's this giant dark shadow that has a silhouette of like a human, but it's so tall it's like, okay, it's bigger than my daddy. There's no way that this could be a human. This has got to be like maybe a shadow, like maybe a reflection of a shadow from one of us or something like that. And it's reflecting in the garage. But it's in the middle of the afternoon, and garages are kind of dark on the interior a little bit. And it had a little bit of light coming, but the light was hitting the bottom. So you got this dark shadow that's kind of towards the ceiling. And it looks like a human shape, but it's kind of just like dark. So every single one that I pulled back and I looked at, it was getting closer and closer to where my dad was taking the photo. So I put the developed ones back on the table. My dad comes into the kitchen. He grabs the developed ones and he's looking at them and he's showing them to my mom. And then my mom's looking at it and I could hear her say, "What is that?" And then my dad's looking at it. He don't say anything because he knows something is wrong. He knows something ain't right, but he never says anything.
Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, OG Network, and wherever your favorite podcasts live.